position with the Karma and Siva to put 5 people down there, yet they never did that. And yes, it comes down to Chippy's controlling Praedyth, but I don't think we saw a single team fight where he was in Mega Gnar and used his R button. I don't think there was one.
It really goes against everything that Gnar players love to do with that champion. But similar ban straight off the bat, Twisted Fate following up that Lucian. So Direwolves potentially looking to make sure Loss and Rosie can't get ahead once again.
Yeah, so with that focus to the Tainted Minds bottom lane with bans, it is a questionable thing. Of course, a lot of respect does need to be given to Lost. He's the star player of the team. I think rule of thumb of what they're going for now is ban the heck out of that bottom lane, camp the top lane. Omni's a diffusal lane anyway, and just try and out-rotate the jungle position.
Direwolves seem to have a winning strategy set in place, as we saw in game number 1, but now this time it's Tainted Minds banning out the Karma rather than picking it and getting rid of that Vladimir as well. Same bans from Direwolves.
Yeah, so
bottom lane
we
focused.
have a fair bit of bottom lane focus, you're right. And with Tainted Minds now to first pick, I guess we question if they're going to look towards the Siva or the Karma again. I would advise that they continue along the Karma route, but given
Karma.
Yeah, so given all the AD carry bans, I think Siva would then be the next best thing, right? Because it fills the same purpose of press that speed boost and enable your team. It also helps with focusing that bottom lane if they were to do so. But perhaps after that first game performance, a little bit of jitters actually coming into them.
That's a great point to make. It's hard to press a go button on your strategy when no one's there to do it. So looks like Tainted Minds actually taking away the Azir first, picking that one for Omni. So Fantix not going to have that available to him this game. Got himself a nice triple in the team fight that kind of sealed the deal in game number 1.
A channeling triple for that triple, honestly. It was a fantastic Azir play from Fantix. Very mid-game focus when he came online. And Omni now able to potentially diffuse that middle lane, be a wave clear heavy player. We'll see if he can even go towards the teleport again, something that he was slow to the mark on. But it was very handy to have that when the early pressure from Zahi was quite high.
Look, if they're going to be picking Elise, why doesn't Sybil just lock it in? That way he doesn't have to do any trades.
It's not about that. Yes, like they should. Now I just hope that Sybil picks a top laner.
No, it looks like they might be going for the Jhin again. It worked out very well for them in game number 1. Raze, curtain call after curtain calls, completely safe from the fight and just dealing the damage from afar. But once again, Sybil getting himself that Elise.
Yeah, and locking in that Jhin with it. So the Elise is definitely the comfort pick. It's probably Sybil's best champion, and he makes some ridiculous plays when he's on the Spider Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Jhin able to enable, very long-ranged, essentially engaged for the team, has that armor penetration build, and can be mid-game focused. As Direwolves with only 2 picks locked in, I already fear for Tainted Minds, because Chippers gets that red side last pick. He can counter Praedyth.
We mentioned in game number 1 that the Jhin really complements the Azir, and with that being taken away, what other mid laners could Direwolves pick here that complement Jhin that way?
Well, they could go towards a Twisted Fate again. It's got the subtle long-range poke damage. You can pick even Lulu. Does quite well.
True. But Tainted Minds actually, even with the Rek'Sai available, seems that they want this Gragas in the hand of Zahi, and Omni getting himself the Trundle.
It makes sense that with the Rek'Sai not being picked, he'll go towards something like the Gragas. Of course, 2 of his more comfortable champions, knowing that he's into Elise this time around, could be the adaptation.
True. See what Direwolves decide to go here. Got a few champions available to him. That Rise, it's still available, and no one really putting any priority or focus.
Well, same thing with Swain, right? Like, there's still 2 very strong champions available for them to pick, and we know Fantix could play them. I guess it's just not his flavor.
Fair enough. See what Direwolves do answer here. Still got 15 seconds left on, and a lot of champions they can go with. The Braum worked well to diffuse any potential situations or engage. We saw that ultimate hitting a lot of people up, slowing, allowing the Jhin to get that extra damage and the stun. And looks like Fantix will be getting himself the Aurelia and a Nami actually here, coming for regret.
Yeah, okay, so Jhin Nami is going to be the bottom lane for the Direwolves, and you have to remember that pressing the E and giving somebody a crit with empowered damage is pretty nasty. It does help with a bit of poke lane presence, something that Nami will always have, so Jhin, who can be reloading, can be compensated for. The long-range engage tool that the Tsunami provides works well with the Jhin also, so as far as the bottom lane's concerned, this is a very happy medium between I want to do damage and I want to provide utility. And at the same time, we have Chippy's on his Aurelia.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult for Praetor to deal with if he thought Chippy's Trundle was scary. He hasn't seen nothing yet.
Lock in the Fiora. Just
chuck the Trundle on support?
Yeah.
Just go full YOLO?
Why not? They'll probably go something along the lines of Janna at this rate, knowing Rosie, because Lost most likely will play something that's hyper carry-ish. 5
seconds left to make up their mind here. He hasn't seen a Jinx in a while, but we're going to see one here tonight. Followed up with the Leona, so damn, these guys are looking strong.
Yeah, they have the Trundle, who's going to be the top laner. They've got Zahi and Azir, and all of those champions are disengaged. Yeah. They then have, of course, the Leona, who can do a bit of both, but is the primary engage tool for this team now. And really, if they catch one person, that person is pretty dead. That's the rule of thumb for Tainted Minds at the moment. A lot of scaling damage coming out of Omni and Lost on the Jinx and the Azir. And generally speaking, it's a protect the Lost comp through bodies in front of him.
Let's see if they can pull it off here tonight and take us to game number 3. But Direwolves, they've still got their last pick to make, that mid laner. What will Fantix bring to the table for game number 2? Got that Aurelia, so we know she's going top.
And we know that he's going to be against the Azir also. Yeah. Fantix has deep pockets. This is one of the champions that he's quite capable on.
Yeah, there we go. Will be the Kassadin being locked here, so to summon a spell, Stay True, should be seeing 4 teleports coming through. Lot of map control is the name of the game tonight.
Yeah, and Fantix now able to show if he can actually utilize that teleport effectively because he's not into an assassin matchup. He is in fact the assassin, which means Omni has to change. And so we won't be seeing 4 teleports, but we will be definitely seeing 3. And right now there is a lot of exhausts on Summoner's Rift and no ignites against an Aurelia and a Nami.
And a Trundle as well, so lifesteal and health regen coming out here. If Chippies is able to get onto anyone and just continuously batter them down, it's going to be disastrous. Looks like Rosie and Omni both opt for that exhaust. As well on the flip side, once Trundle pops the ultimate, minions start dying. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to deal with him.
Yeah, definitely. I think top lane is going to be the big point that I look towards once again because it's Aurelia and Trundle. We saw Chippies on the Trundle show that what he can do essentially in a 1v1. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Chippies is answering, however, with his signature champion. So we'll see if he can actually take it to the champion that he won with last game.
Let's see if Praetor can do it. He's going to be in a world of hurt should he fall behind. But remember, guys, get onto Twitter. Show your love. Show your support. Hashtag TM win for Tainted Minds or hashtag DW win for the Direwolves, looking to potentially close this out in a 2-0 fashion.
That's right, the stage is set for the Direwolves to have a convincing victory, and moving towards the middle end of this split now, getting towards the later stages, every victory is super important because it counts towards that playoffs run, and Direwolves might be shutting the door here potentially for Tainted Minds.
And they've been looking stronger and stronger week by week, but tonight they can prove it once and for all that they deserve to be in that top 3 spot, the upper echelon of the OPL. But Tainted Minds, they can do it. We've seen sparks of greatness time and time again. But unfortunately, game number 1 was very lacking.
And yeah, we are looking at the Keystone Masteries. Leona actually going for the Strength of the Ages, much like Zahi on the tank. Champions that go for the Relic Shield and can last hit minions, you can see, can afford to go for Strength of the Ages occasionally. And on the flip side, Ray's actually having the Deathfire touch is a personal preference thing. I've seen a lot of Jins now starting to go towards Thunderlords when you go the armor penetration build.
Cool.
That way you're all in on laning phase and mid lane. You have a bit of extra diving capabilities as well with that Thunderlords. Means you can do your 3 hits and actually hurt them for more. And so by going for Deathfire touch, I interpret that as wanting standard lanes primarily.
Always love seeing champions being played in a variety of different ways here. Do love me some Jhin, so it's always good to see people discovering new ways to play these champions that we think, Jhin is all about that 4th auto, the big crits, but last game we saw just controlling those team fights and being able to re-engage from such a far distance.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they've actually got Fantix playing the Assassin this time around, and Chippies as well, in terms of getting into that backline and actually doing a lot of damage. We haven't fully seen that now from this new Direwolves comp. I think it's very important that Regret actually hits perhaps the Tsunami to enable them. Or Jhin almost feels like one of the primary sources of engage this time around. And for the record, while we're watching these bottom lanes run to lane, Jin started with the E.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You can stack them at level 1 and actually have about 3 of them on top of the camp. It does quite a bit of damage to it, helps you clear it a little bit safer as Regret.
Very cool though, Regret accidentally gets caught out here. Could be in a bit of trouble, forces a flash, forces their heal, the exhaust rather, but now they're turning the damage back around. Should be an even trade, as both the carries still have quite high health bars.
Regret just walked into them. They're going to tick level 2 right now on Rosie, and if he gets this...
Still has his flash, narrowly avoids the Paracel coming in.
Very close stuff. I'm not sure what Regret's strategy was there. Of course, both flashes are still there for all of these teams, both of these teams. The end result is that Jinx is winning this lane, though.
They're lost in a great position right now, and how better... What more Tainted Minds ask for, really, is to get their bot lane ahead, and Jinx, one of the few hyper carries left in the game, gets to that late game stage. Rocket form, Runans, you guys know the rest.
Oh,
Pentakills.
No. Sybil's about to find him with no health. Now Zahi does have Smite, but he doesn't know that Sybil's here, so the Cocoon's on his deck.
Oh no, the Cocoon goes wide, but it might be enough. Zahi flashes without the Smite, tries to go back for it, but first blood off Sybil's very nice invade.
Yeah, and unfortunately the poor reactions from Zahi, who does not smite the red buff with it up, suffers for it. Big mistake actually from the Tainted Minds jungler, and now Sybil's looking strong. He might even find himself some Omni on the back end of that. And things have started to already turn around across the entire rift.
Well, speaking of turning around, that's exactly what Praedyth needs to do. Turn around and run as Chippies looks for him here. Praedyth has no hope but to turn around and fight. It's not going to matter as Chippies wins the 1v1. This is why I don't give this man Aurelia.
And Praedyth actually pillared himself next to the Aurelia? That's very curious. His bottom lane's in.
Oh, the traps do go down. Does hit Regret, who gets the bubble. Has his flash if he needs it. But now Rosie might be in trouble. Ray's forced to reload.
Is here.
But that is the curse of your champion. Sybil making his way lost. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to go down there trying to get back in, but lost. And Rosie get the kill, but now Rosie's going to fall. A double kill for Sybil.
And Sybil now 3-0 on this Elise at 4 minutes into the game. Well done from Tainted Minds to even get a kill in that, as Zahi's now top.
Oh, a great dash coming from Chippies. The pillar is there. Do they have enough to kill him? They should, but actually questioning that one.
No, they just don't have enough. The Infernal Drake as well now immediately responded to by Direwolves, and with the sustain that can come out of Inami, they should be able to lock this one down eventually. It will take a lot of damage.
Going to have to spawn more Spiderlings here if they want any chance of getting this Drake down to about 900 health. Does have the Smite available, so should be secured, and very early Dragon coming out of Direwolves, but that's what happens when it's the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and whilst it's very early, it is the fire one, so you're absolutely right. That scaling Drake will do wonders for them. As right now, the Elise still yet to recall, 3-0. Now getting more gold in the back pocket. I just want to go back and see a Dark Seal Moby Boots by Channel China. Snowball that game, because right now Sybil has all of the gold.
He's in the position to do so. Currently sitting on 3-0. Look at that. Look how far ahead, 1,000 gold ahead of Zahi at 5.5 minutes in.
He has so much money. That's
but a very comfortable champion as well. So
go back to base, man. Oh,
there
here we go.
Big spender.
Window shopping time.
He's not going to be window shopping. He's got the cash to buy it here, Russ. He's going to buy the whole shop at this rate. What's he go with?
So now I'm just buy the items, man.
He's waiting for gold as well.
Is it going to be full Runic Echoes?
He's so greedy. There it is. Gets himself that one. Gets the warding smite as well. So
damn. Daniel. That's a big Elise. Makes sense. I think we say this all the time, but every time an Oceanic team actually plays Elise, they somehow win the game. Something about the spiders down under being more dangerous, I believe.
She's a redback, so luckily haven't had to tussle with one of them for a while, Rusty.
Oh, don't even start me. Speaking of redback.
Yeah, here comes Sybil making his way up to the top. That pink ward should spot him out. Or it's his own pink ward, actually. Yep, there we go.
Yeah,
it's
he
his
has
own pink
Raptor
ward.
sense too,
Cool,
so
cool.
even if it came to it, he knew he was in a position where there's no wards.
Chippies, he does use his Q to get in. Still has it available. The Flash Cocoon comes through, and no hope, no life left for Praedyth.
There's just so much burst that comes out of both of these players. The attention now to this top side of the map. Not only has Chippy secured a solo kill, he's gone above and beyond that, utilizing Sybil And now for the 5 kills that the Direwolves have on the board, it's all on this top side of the map, and the snowball can well and truly commence.
We can see that the blue buff spawning very soon, and CBLOL knows that he's made his way in, gets down a ward. Zahi has the Raptor buff. Does he have enough time to take that ward out? One more auto should do it. Hey, there we go. Just as the blue buff spawns in, Omni wants this one, so he's investing his time and resources and just scaring away CBLOL.
Yeah, CBLOL just walks it out anyway, goes back towards his own buffs. I believe he has the first time red buff to get on, which will be obliterated extremely quickly. Fantix has been falling a bit behind in terms of farm in this lane, so struggling to an extent. But he's a Kassadin after all, and by being 10 CS behind, you're ultimately just perfectly fine.
And we know Fantix, when he's on these champions like the Fizz and the Kassadin, it doesn't matter how the laning phase goes, he still somehow manages to dominate the team fights and come out ahead. So that's what he's looking for here, I assume. Once again, Regret actually gets caught. There comes the zap. No chompers available just yet. The flash chompers forcing Nami to flash out of there. Now Raze in the firing line. A great bubble from Regret forces Lost to give up the chase.
But they're not doing well here, Direwolves bottom lane. Zahi's level 6 also, and Fantix needs to be careful. What we are seeing is tunneling from the Direwolves. 2-0 Aurelia. He's snowballed. CBLOL, you do not have to stay there anymore. But he wants to push that one further and make Praetor's life miserable. As if this continues to happen, we might actually find a trade-off where the strength of Tainted Minds is still allowed to be strong. As this is going to be a good old-fashioned chase down.
Yeah, everyone just walking into the jungle right now, but Regret with no flash available might get taken down here. It goes wide, but Lost picks it up with the Super Mega Death Rocket.
Teleport's actually used below them, however.
Oh no, it's on top of Lost, and he's going to have to try to survive for as long as he can. It's not going to matter if Chippy's finishes that one off, but now he's in the firing line, get taken very, very low. A shutdown coming for Zahi, but the entire Tainted Mind squad have made their way down. Fantix gets the heal and gets out alive. Raze, what a god.
Fantix not deserving of being alive right now, but Raze, of course, the summoner spell is enough to make sure that he comes out of this one. Chippies does a lot of damage and is definitely noticeable. But the teleport response from Tainted Minds this time around is quick. Fantix actually choosing to walk there and gets a lot slower on the move because the Azir goes in at the exact same time. So Rift walks, and unbeknownst to him, there's actually a parasailing Emperor of Shurima that meets him there. This is, of course, how Chippies gets the kill. Could flash over there. And this Fantix, look at his positioning. He thinks he's got an opportunity here, but at the same time, Omni's like, oh, hey, didn't see you there. Get exhausted.
I can't believe he survived this.
Yeah, and that's where they turn it all around. So fantastic heal. Utilizing the Leona passive almost from the Azir was enough to get close to killing him, but doesn't quite hit the mark. This could be a dive.
Feeling robbed, but now Lost actually turning the damage around. Luckily, CBLOL has a minion in range to get himself up the bubble.
This is not good for Direwolves.
Rosie trying to go in here, but the threat of an invisible Kassadin is enough to deter them.
But it's just plain too aggressive from them. Again, using CBLOL and a level 4 Regret. CBLOL is trying to one-man army it, and he can't afford to do that right now. Lost is still definitely on form on this Jinx.
Now Chippies. 3-1-1, got himself the Stinger, got himself the Sheen, and here comes the invade. They actually stack the CC, the bubble comes through, hits onto Omni. Now he's the one in trouble as Fantix comes through, gets himself that one. Regret the level 5 Nami, as you mentioned, in full retreat, but it's not going to matter. They walk across the trap, they get hit by the Void, and now Raze just sitting there dealing the DPS Lost, trying to turn it around. They get the kill onto Nami, but it's not going to matter as Raze picks that one up. Zahi has to leave. Man to die. It's not going to matter. Here it comes. One more attack should do it. Gets the triple kill, and Raze is on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this Jhin is starting to pop off something fierce right now. CBLOL setting it up with the flash Q actually in that spider form to ensure the Jhin gets it. And the movement immediately towards this Drake is the Direwolves now 11-4 in kills. We have had 15 kills in 11 minutes, and this game is aggressive.
Oh my god, look how easy this is for Elise to do. The no splash damage and 3 auto attacks onto the Spiderlings from this Ocean Drake. I thought the Cloud Drake was weak, but Jesus.
Cloud Drake's actually a little bit stronger than the Ocean one. Doesn't mean that the buff is as useful, however. As you can see, CBLOL's now... Hang on. They're now going back to base. Once again with a lot of gold. Because the man,
oh my lord,
he knows what it means to spend it all at once.
I'm currently sitting on about 2k, so Another big back for CBLOL. He really likes to get these power spikes incrementally, eh?
And it's more that, like, it's not efficient to do that, right? You don't actually want to be as a jungler. Oh, look, I'm at 2,000 gold again. Let's go straight towards the biggest item spike in history. It's more of a, I'm about to recall. Oh, look, we're fighting again. And remember that with 15 kills in what was 11 minutes before that, they absolutely have been fighting at every opportunity. And so he just didn't get a chance to recall, whereas everyone else has been dying.
That's exactly right here. Picks himself up. The Sorcerer's Shoes, as well as a Kindle Gem, a few wards and some potions to boot. Not opting for the refillable this time around, actually.
No.
Interesting.
And he's actually going towards the Proto Belt also on this release. Something that we have seen here and there. I believe the LCK played it, and the OPL also played Proto Belt in Italy. So it's starting to creep out everywhere.
Chippy's just being very oppressive in this lane right now. Predator finding it hard to do anything but last hit under tower. He's doing all right. He's stopped the bleeding for now. Not as far behind as he was in the first game. 13 minutes in, but 11 kills over to the Direwolves. They've been making plays all around the map from the get-go.
They've covered this pink ward for so long, Tainted Minds. It really has been their avenue of attack as well. Rosie, very good lane control champion. And watch what happens here. They know Regret's there. Leona ult.
There comes the Sonar Flare down onto Regret. The flash is available for Regret, but he's just going to take the death as Lost picks that one up. And now in the mid lane, Omni gets hit by the Cocoon. That doesn't matter, though, as Fantix and CBLOL. Another kill for CBLOL, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that guy does a lot of damage. Actually exhausts under Fantix, denying it. The Direwolves, they have an AD carry. They really are just starting to lack in the rest of it. It's actually going to get... Ooh, nope, he ran away.
No, just trying to maybe deter them here, but...
Teleport's actually used from the top side already.
Here comes
There's two of them.
And Fantix on the same ward. The teleport is going to be answered from Praetor. Chippies goes in, just deletes the Gragas. No hope for that one. Flashes, dashes over the Super Mega Death Rocket. That was insane. Does get cleaned up eventually, but now Tainted Minds in full retreat. CBLOL on the front of that one. Does miss the Cocoon. Rosie books it out of there. Gets hit by the Jin W. The burn is down, but impressive stuff out of Direwolves tonight.
That was sick from Chippies. The flash, whilst it didn't feel impactful, was enough time and enough damage by dodging the Jinx ult to keep them in it. CBLOL, he looks like he wants more, but he's actually just pressuring for this bottom turret. And it's about that time in the game where, with a 16-4 kill advantage, Direwolves may actually start wanting to get some objectives because no turrets have been taken from their team on Summoner's Rift. And of course, we are going to see this one again.
I can't wait to see the flash.
Well done from Chippies. This flash probably wasn't... it was probably about to kill him, but right on time.
That was beautiful.
And because he did that, he got more damage onto the Jinx. Says, hello, we're fighting again.
Yep, CBLOL being a little bit too greedy, does get caught, able to get away. Regret is there to get the bubble. Tainted Minds can't really chase this. Rosie does have Solar Flare, but no one doing the same way they defend the tower, though.
And we're still waiting for the breaking point in this game because it's a scrappy game, and it's something that the Direwolves are usually quite good at being. We haven't actually seen turrets taken, which is still what we're waiting for. And until further notice, the red buff Jinx is always going to have a decent time. He's actually farming well against this Jhin. Regrets having an off game. Very off game.
Yeah. It's kind of setting the tone early on, just walking into the Leona, really feeling the burn.
I think it's safe to say as well that not many teams are used to playing against the Leona.
That's true. Hasn't been seen in quite a while, but still packs a punch. That passive as well as the amount of CC she can lay down in a very small amount of time.
CBLOL probably has a lot of gold. Swear to God, that guy. Needs to start going back to base more timely.
First, he wants to get a gank here onto Praetor. The stun goes through. No Cocoon just yet. They might not need it there. There it is. Another kill coming through to Chippies. CBLOL sheds a tear that he's not 6-0-3 at the moment.
Yeah, at an individual level, the Direwolves are just excelling right now in this game. Zahi has not been playing too poorly, but ultimately, the Direwolves are just a team of 5 that are rotating around far more effectively. This is one of the problems that Azir runs into also, not having that teleport where Fantix did. And that is not going to stop.
Zahi's been playing that uphill battle since very early on when we saw a great invade out of CBLOL kind of set the pacing of this game, and CBLOL's been doing a great job keeping up the momentum. So get themselves that top tower. Direwolves all of a sudden out to a 4,000 gold leaders. Omni once again gets caught. CBLOL with the flash Cocoon. Chippies with the Blade Surge, but another kill over to CBLOL.
And you know what's funny is he was probably shopping, and the awareness from the Direwolves is still on point, flashing over that wall to catch him out. But if you were watching what Fantix was doing, the fact that he stopped hitting a minion actually indicates that he's walking towards you. Leona's on.
The Solar Flare does get 2 members are going in. The Chomper's not going to land. Here is Praetor stopping the escape, and Chippies, with the help of the Tidal Wave, actually gets out alive.
Turn around.
Mega Death Rocket not going to land. And now they're in for retreat. Fantix over the wall gets the kill. Now they have to run away. Lost just isn't strong enough to turn this around, trying to kill the minions to keep them safe. Fantix looks like he wants to go for that one, but Chippies uses the minion highway. But Zahi and Lost trying to make plays. Where can CBLOL go? Not too far, but it's enough to fool them, as Lost thought he was going on top of him.
Lost wants the W.
There it is, the zap. He does sidestep it. The Spiderlings do a great job of body blocking. Not going to get the slow from the barrel. An excellent cocoon. CBLOL, he may well and truly be away.
And the Spider gets to skitter away with low health values. Direwolves now breaking the bottom side during this as well, as they get themselves everything they could want. Chippies isn't done, however.
Oh no, Omni, after having used his Q for harass, has no way to get out of that one. Chippies maybe trading 1 for 1 here. He's so low. The lifesteal that he gets from his autos keeping him just narrowly above death.
And Chippies is honestly showing a lack of respect to Tainted Minds. At an individual level, they are still good mechanical players, and yes, he did a lot of damage. Omni almost killed him in response, and I do feel like that's disrespect. Direwolves, man, second Infernal Drake. We're at 18 minutes in this game. We've had way too many kills. We're at the 25 mark.
Raze is going to need a hand taken down this one. It's taking him quite a while with those reload times coming in. The damage is there, though, as Regret starting to take this one
ultimate.
up.
Here we go.
Rosie and Praetor making their way down. But look at that damage. Raze doing about 800 by the look of it with that last shot.
Yeah, it was 1,000. Actually popped his Ghost Blade. You have to remember, gives attack speed, and attack speed doesn't exist on Jhin, as he attacks at a fixed rate, in which case it actually just gives him AD.
Very good heads-up play by Raze to secure that one. And on the other side of the map, Chippies and CBLOL get himself through Rift Herald, and we know when Chippies gets that Rift Herald, you mentioned playing disrespectful. Well, not disrespectful before, but lack of respect. You know, he's got that extra damage.
I think Tarek said it best. You know, they're nothing more than glass.
Waiting to be smashed.
Yeah, and he's blasting them right now.
That's it, right? Looks like Direwolves made their way up into this mid lane. Moving up the bot lane. Tainted Minds also. They want to keep this tower alive as long as they can.
Yeah, definitely trying to hold the fort in this middle lane. Omni's going to be always useful at that, of course, being Azir. I just don't see any avenues that aren't holding middle lane right now that actually favor Tainted Minds, because Chippies is running a rampage on this top lane. Praetor's not having a great series. Chippies, of course, showing why he's one of the better. Raze.
But they've gone in onto Raze here, but Regret should be keeping him safe. A beautiful bubble. They have been on point all game long. Nets them the kill onto Omni.
Yeah, one more big pick. That was actually aggression from Omni that now backfires. And instead of just holding the fort, which is what we thought Tainted Minds were going to do, oh, they got Raze.
The flash body slam comes in. The Parasol does go wide, but doesn't matter. Zahi picks himself that one up. Now Lost does get excited, looking to make some plays, but Chippies in the back line just deletes everyone. A double kill for the Aurelia, looking to make it a triple. Praetor's forced to flash, but there is an army after him right now.
Chippies is just going off at the moment. This Aurelia is huge. Direwolves looking very much on point and to close this game out as soon as they possibly can. There's the amount of kills that we're seeing on someone as if Direwolves are racing the clock individually. What a performance.
23-8 right now. Direwolves. Game 1 looked amazing, but Game 2 is a horse of a different color right now. It's amazing in its own new ways. Just kill after kill. Team fights left, right, and center. Tainted Minds, they're looking to make the plays, but it's just not happening. And where are Direwolves behind your tower? Where is safety for Tainted Minds right now?
Not even the Nexus, honestly. There's no such thing as safety on Summoner's Rift. Everywhere you go, it feels like Direwolves will fight you for that. Every piece of land that you wish to secure, they will make you work for. And with 2 Infernal Drakes, 16% bonus AD and AP now in their back pocket, and an Ocean Drake, as if RNG could not favor them any further. I believe the next one's also going to be fire. We're going to see a lot of fire. Raze still being over-aggressive, though, with his positioning. The reason they even got kills was he was caught twice in that middle lane. Once by Omni, who they turned around. The second time, you're not going to have your summoner spells up.
No. He goes down, but at what cost to Tainted Minds? They lose 3 and a tower. Maybe four actually,
well,
and a tower on the back
I mean,
of that.
Direwolves are just lucky that they can dive at this point, right? If that
correct.
same mistake happened when they were at even footing, it might not have been as beneficial to the Direwolves. They are playing quite brash and aggressive. It's justified given the lead. I wouldn't continue this in every regular game, right?
Great point to make here. Sybil flashes over the cocoon, does go wide, but it shouldn't matter as Omni gets taken very low. There is Fantix to pick that one up. Raze pops the ultimate, and now Tainted Minds under tower once again.
Lots of damage on Azahi. Remember the armor penetration build of Raze with that Deathfire touch. And one pick could be a lot more. Sybil.
Well, they're trying to go onto the Spider here. The Solar Flare goes down. A few more crits from Lost should do it. He does get the excited up and running now. Chippies once again messing around where he shouldn't be in the backlines of the towers. Doesn't find any kills, but no deaths either. Trading 1 for 1.
And Chippy's just so fed that it doesn't actually matter how forward he's being right now. Randuin's Omen's second item. So the crit from Lost, if he's hitting him, doesn't even matter as much anymore. And that Kassadin already posing a monstrous threat. Has those 10 stacks. Wouldn't be surprised to see it become a Mejai's. But he needs his Zonias to start diving people. And once they have that, I'm not sure if there is actually an answer available whatsoever from Tainted Minds, even if they catch him.
And everyone on Direwolves hitting massive items right now. As you mentioned, Fantix, he's already sitting on a Rod of Ages and a Lichbane, so that empowered W that Kassadin gets is just going to be destroying any low health targets. And there's the Proto Belt coming out of Sybil.
Yeah,
along with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter.
A little bit of time now. Of course, the combo that you can do is actually popping it down with your Q. Remember the execute damage from Elise? It's actually pretty cool. If you throw out the cocoon, it connects, you use the human form Q, which does percentage of their max health, I believe. And then you change to spider form and use the Proto Belt with the other Q, which is the execution aspect of her kit. If you can combo it perfectly, which to be fair is like 78,000 buttons in 1 second. You do a bit of damage.
You're explaining it to me. I'm standing here and nodding, thinking,
yeah,
could I do that?
That makes sense, man.
That makes sense, but then I think about practically, could I do that? Probably not.
Saying to press 7 buttons in 2 seconds. Yeah, dude, easy. All the time.
Yeah, in theory, excellent. Let's see if Sybil can maybe pull it off this game. We've seen a few cocoons lately not hitting their targets. Could be the thing that, in the end, causes their over-aggression to maybe bite them, but they are 9,000 gold in the lead. 5 towers to 24 kills. Just about to...
they're going to Baron.
They're not racing the clock anymore, so they are behind by a kill, but the Baron has been started. Teleport coming in from Chippies in the bot lane. Praetor actually flashes to cancel that one away, so this is going to be a straight 4-on-4. Here come Tainted Minds.
Yeah, so Chippies is going to stop the other TPs.
Solar Flare in, Raze does dodge it along with Sybil.
He's so
coming through. Oh no, he just straight up kills him. Oh, they stopped the Baron, but at what cost?
They tried to teleport in and get a mismatch, but Praetor tries to teleport next to an Aurelia. How many times will you say that's a good decision as a W just half health Omni, as you do?
Oh my lord. And Tainted Minds are on the wrong side of the map right now.
It's a team effort, yeah.
Clearing out the wolf camp and trying to claim the camouflage as their own. Looks like they will be getting themselves the 3rd Infernal Drake of the game as Chippies, no trouble, secures himself this bot lane in a turret as well.
Yeah, Chippy's chunky to the turret. Gets that one, and that's, yeah, exactly, it was the long con from the side of the Direwolves. Force the Baron so they can't take Infernal Drake. You have Chippies on the bottom side of the map, so they were forecasting that play to actually come to fruition. The teleports maybe not as forecasted, but it works out for them in the end, because, you know, 3 Infernals, 24%, pretty good numbers. If they want another Drake and the game manages to drag on for an extra 6 minutes, hey, 2 Oceans, as you do.
Don't let the dragon drag on, man. As Tainted Minds, they've been fighting an uphill battle from the word go, and Direwolves, they've not slowed down once. Here we see Tainted Minds trying to get this.
They've actually got people in base. They do a lot of damage between a Jinx and an Azir, but I don't know if it's that much.
Here comes Fantix in the backline. He's got his sight set onto Lost. Wants to take out this Jinx. Gets exhausted immediately, but the damage has already been dealt. Sybil secures himself the Baron, and here comes Jin. Takes out Lost, looking for more.
Whoa.
Takes out Omni. Now Praedeth in the firing lines as Fantix just says, screw this, I'm going for the kills. A triple for Raze. Rosie keeping Zahi safe, but at the cost of his own life eventually.
Yeah, 3 big kills now, and they actually get to pick all of those ones up on Raze. I don't know if the Direwolves are outright finished. It doesn't feel like they are.
Oh no, look at Chippies, gets the slow. There is the repel on top of Rosie. See you later, Leona.
They're not done.
Oh no, Zahi eats. Oh, the damage. This
is a massacre. They have more kills than the clock right now, Direwolves.
Wow.
They can look to end this game at 27 minutes, quicker than their first, but only just, but much more convincing.
What an epic series, an epic game. Direwolves just showing us leaps and bounds ahead of this Tainted Mind squad. 30 kills to 9 tonight, Rusty.
They gave us a few reasons maybe not to give Chippy's Aurelio from that game just quietly.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's a thing. Sybil as well on the Elise. I think Direwolves actually, in terms of draft, got something that they're very much competent and comfortable with. And they dismantled Tainted Minds, honestly, in that game. That was a destroying... Oh.
Chippy's on Aurelia. It shouldn't happen. Just don't. Just don't give him Aurelia. The confidence he gets as well, knowing how much damage he can take on that champion, constantly coming through behind the towers, taking them out, flashing over walls. But, of course, we are going to send it back to the analyst desk to break down that series and tell us what they thought.
Thanks, Rogu. We thought that series was actually a lot of fun. Chippy's absolutely styles on the whole of the Tainted Minds lineup. I mean, Sybil's in on the party. Couldn't hit a cocoon, but had a lot of kills and a dash cannon. That was great. And then Fantix on the caster as well, just popping off around Summoner's Rift. Honestly, that was such a well-rounded victory out of the Direwolf lineup.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If that composition ever really fell behind, they actually didn't have a ton of wave clear available to them because they didn't pick up someone like Sivir in tandem with the Kassadin. So Direwolves were kind of like all or nothing, and they went all in and it worked.
They certainly do. And just to touch on something Rogi said while he was casting there, it's a very comfortable team comp for the Direwolves too, so they're very comfortable going all in. They showed that in that game.
Yeah, it certainly did. One thing that I know you were pretty fired up about, Frosk, is taking the Jinx. We call it bad Caitlyn in a lot of the matchups. We say that she has a wonky item build. What is it exactly about this that you don't like?
Okay, so this is really cool. We're actually going to pull up the items between the two different AD carries, Jhin and Jinx. So you've got Jin's, I guess, on the left and Jinx is on the right. So the issue with Jinx right now is that she's going to be dependent on that Infinity Edge, which means that you're at these really weird back timers in terms of where your power spikes are. So he had the pickaxe, he goes into the BF sword, then he's going to get his Zerker Greaves, and then he ends up with the Zeal, and then he gets into the Infinity Edge. So it takes so long before Jinx actually really comes online and starts getting powerful. Whereas Jhin on the other side, yes, he's not going the Essence Reaver anymore. He's not going the Infinity Edge. Now he has this Ghostblade, Duskblade build, which just think of all of the long swords and how much utility those items are also going to give him. Like Ghostblade has always been a very cost-efficient item, and now even more so. And it just opens up so many different points of power for Jhin.
Jhin also always wants to fight you. Even from level 1, he's always really, really strong. So he can take those small items and make huge use of it. Jinx is one of those champions you really need to get to like 50 minutes into the game, have really good items, your team has to be far ahead, and then she starts to 1v5 people, but Jhin just does it from the start.
Well, it's why we started to kind of move away more towards like the 3-item power spike 80 carries, which again, like Jinx, she kind of has the same similar issues that Caitlyn is going to have. It's not an awful build path, especially when you have the Zeal and the changes to the Zerker Greaves moving up to 35% attack speed, but it's like Caitlyn just offers more than the Jinx is going to and a lot more safety. So it's like, worse Caitlyn, Ashe was available, you could still have that utility.
And that's what I actually want to bring it back to, because we often would criticize Direwolves for a team that, you know, limited champion pools. Fantix used to have a wonky champion pools, like control mage to assassins, like with very little in between. You know, Sybil, we call him the 3 champion jungler, but Tainted Minds now is showing that, you know, a couple of bans thrown down into their bottom lane, get rid of Akama, get rid of Illusion and Ezreal, and they go to some throwbacks for us. Like, we have a Leona and a Jinx coming out, something we haven't seen for a while. This is a strategy now that people are going to look at their bottom lane and say, you know what, they're great on what, if it was a blind pick game, take them every single time because they're such a talented bottom lane, but they do have champion pool issues.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's just super, like, out of left field for me, simply because you would expect him to be able to play Caitlyn before, like, going to the Jinx.
Yeah, it certainly would be the case. However, Direwolves do show that that can be Tainted Minds' undoing. However, guys, don't go anywhere because we have another best of 3 coming your way. In 3.5 minutes, we have Hellions taking on Sin Gaming. We'll see you then.